political gain, nothing else. Congress party, it is all right, we have not done it, but we were waiting for the right time. It was not the right time.
After the abrogation of the Article 370, the tribals, the Bakarwals, the Gujars, the scheduled castes, the women, now they are getting the equal benefits of all the schemes of Government of India.
You put all leaders of Kashmir behind the bus and have sent more than 8 lakh army in Kashmir. Is it possible in Loktantra? And that is the reason even today, the situation in Kashmir is very bad.
The moment the Constitution of Kashmir comes into existence, and that Constitution adopts the fact that it is an integral part of Bharat, there is no reason for Article 370 to survive. So according to me, while Article 370 remained in the books, it was rendered infructuous automatically.
He is our law minister, he should go through the history properly. And whether after 70 years, is it proper to criticize Jawaharlal Nehru? He was great freedom fighter. He was Prime Minister of the country.
If Congress party wants to, have a challenge on the points which I have raised, that means they are challenging the words stated by Nehruji. By debunking my facts and figures, they are actually disowning Nehruji.
इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं क्योंकि सभी लोग कर रहे हैं.
Coaching is now starting from grade 3, 4, 5, 6.
कोटा जाने वाली बीच राह में आधे टेस्ट देके हैं सिलेक्शन की चाह में.
ऑल इंडिया का बच्चा कोटा जाता है.
This rat race is for rats, not for humans. So why should we even be a part of it?
The Rat Race. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now. BrahMos. Stealthy, lethal, precise. It flies at 3 times the speed of sound and cuts through a warship like a hot knife through butter. China's navy has threatened its neighbors, and they are turning to the BrahMos for protection. The warship killer. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
Pakistan is actually genociding Baloch people. So being Baloch is a crime. If you are a Baloch, it means in the eyes of Pakistan, you don't have any right to live.
The Chinese and Pakistanis are colonizing the Baloch and exploiting their resources.
The Baloch armed struggle will continue unless China withdraws, the Pakistan military withdraws from Balochistan and give Baloch complete authority to decide for themselves.
The Baloch feel that if they don't act now, they will become marginalized.
What lies ahead for Balochistan?
Balochistan, Bangladesh 2.0, streaming now.
A very warm welcome on News9 Mediaverse, and I am Kartikeya Sharma, and with me are my colleagues Brijesh Pandey, input editor of News9 Live, and Ashok Bagaria, our legal editor. Today we are going to speak about the sort of language which was used by two leaders against each other on Manipur issue. Now Manipur is a burning issue, not because the government has been failing repeatedly to resolve it. Manipur is a vexed issue on which the government has not shown the stamina and capacity to actually to show that it is on ground zero. That's one. Secondly, there is politics being built around Manipur in context of governance, which Rahul Gandhi spoke about. But the Prime Minister, on the other hand, has shown great political tenacity on the masterstroke of the opposition parties, whereby the acronym India was born. Prime Minister, as we know, had spoken about even that East India Company had the name India. So the Prime Minister wants to demolish that India thing, which has been the sort of a halo acquired by the opposition. But now on the issue of Manipur, there is a lot of slugfest. The opposition parties are forcing government's hand by going forward for a vote of no trust against the BJP government. That will force the Prime Minister to speak, because this no confidence motion will be turned into a debate against the government and the Prime Minister on Manipur, and Prime Minister will then need to defend the government on the floor of the House. Opposition has its task cut, because the government will need to show that these parties cannot vote together, and they'll try to break the opposition when it comes to the vote. But if opposition can come together, despite so many differences, and vote on the issue and then lose the trust vote, obviously, because Prime Minister Modi has got the numbers, it will be a victory for them. So the victory is not whether BJP will lose or not. BJP is not going to lose the trust vote on Manipur. BJP will win the trust vote. The question is, can opposition together vote against BJP on the trust vote? But before we get into a discussion as to why politics is hotting up in Delhi because of what's happening in Northeast and Imphal, let's listen into Prime Minister Narendra Modi and then Rahul Gandhi.
इन दिनों कांग्रेस और उसके सहयोगी दलों ने एक नया पैंतरा चला है। ये पैंतरा है नाम बदलने का। पहले के जमाने में राजस्थान के लोग व्यापारियों की दुनिया बराबर जानते हैं। पहले के जमाने में कोई पीढ़ी, कोई कंपनी अगर बदनाम हो जाए, उसके फ्रॉड करने वाली कंपनी का चिट्ठा निकल जाए, तो तुरंत वो कंपनी वाले नया बोर्ड लगा करके अपना कारोबार शुरू कर करके लोगों को भ्रमित करने का काम करते हैं और नाम बदल करके लोगों को मूर्ख बना करके अपना धंधा पानी चलाने की कोशिश करते हैं। कांग्रेस और उसके साथियों की जमात ऐसी फ्रॉड कंपनियों की नकल कर रही है। यूपीए के कुकर्म लोगों को याद ना आए, इसलिए इन्होंने अपना नाम यूपीए से बदलकर I.N.D.I.A कर दिया और इतना लंबा कर दिया कि लोग भूल जाएं। यूपीए के नाम बदला है ताकि ये आतंकवाद के सामने घुटने टेकने का अपना पाप छिपा सके। इन्होंने नाम बदला है ताकि ये कर्ज माफी के नाम पर किसानों से विश्वासघात को छिपा सके। यूपीए नाम बदला है ताकि ये गरीबों के साथ किए गए छल कपट को छिपा सके। और मैं आज राजस्थान की धरती से देश के लोगों को एक और बात बताना चाहता हूं। इनका तरीका वही है जो हमेशा देश के दुश्मनों ने अपनाया है। पहले भी ये तो I.N.D.I.A के नाम से आए हैं, लेकिन पहले इंडिया के नाम के पीछे अपने पाप को छुपाने का प्रयास किया गया है। इंडिया नाम तो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी में भी था। ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी में भी इंडिया था कि नहीं था? लेकिन इंडिया नाम अपनी भारत भक्ति दिखाने के लिए नहीं, बल्कि भारत को लूटने के इरादे से लगाया गया।
देश का प्रधानमंत्री हवाई जहाज में जाकर इम्फाल में, कम से कम इम्फाल में लोगों से बात करेगा। पिछले कोई भी प्रधानमंत्री होते कांग्रेस के प्रधानमंत्री तो वहीं बैठ जाते हैं। मगर आपको आश्चर्य होगा कि हिंदुस्तान का प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी मणिपुर क्यों नहीं जा रहा है, मणिपुर के बारे में बोल क्यों नहीं रहा है? क्योंकि नरेंद्र मोदी जी चुने हुए लोगों के प्रधानमंत्री हैं, आरएसएस के प्रधानमंत्री हैं। उनको मणिपुर से कोई लेना देना नहीं। वो जानते हैं कि उनकी विचारधारा ने मणिपुर को जलाया है। मगर जो मणिपुर में दुख है, दर्द है, जो महिलाओं को चोट पहुंची है, उससे नरेंद्र मोदी जी को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। और मैं आपको गारंटी देके कह सकता हूं कि जिस मणिपुर ने प्रधानमंत्री के दिल में दर्द नहीं पहुंचाया, वही मणिपुर इस मीटिंग में हमारे हर कार्यकर्ता के दिल में दर्द पहुंचा रहा है। तो मेरा कहना है यह फर्क है। वो सिर्फ सत्ता चाहते हैं और सत्ता के लिए वो कुछ भी कर देंगे।
A very direct attack by Rahul Gandhi against Prime Minister on Manipur. He is saying that the Prime Minister should have gone to Manipur, Prime Minister should have spoken to Manipur. Do you think the government feels cornered on Manipur, the way opposition wants to corner government on Manipur? Does it having the same effect on the government?
Karthika, I don't think that the government feels cornered. They have realized that that if they will run away from the discussion, then they will put themselves in a tight corner. That is the reason why Home Minister Amit Shah has made a statement in the House, Lok Sabha, that the government is more than ready to debate this issue. It's just a question of whether it is going to be done under a certain section or not. Because a short duration discussion, it doesn't last for more than 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maximum 3 hours. But if under 267, the thing is that it can extend for 2 days, and there could be provision of voting and all. So basically, the haggling is over is that a debate under which section. But the government is not afraid, because they believe, according to my interaction, my understanding of the situation, they believe a lot much worse has been done during the time of the Congress party when it was in power, and the Congress party didn't do much. What all they are doing is they are playing politics. So they don't feel that they are cornered. But yes, one thing is for sure, that the opposition feels that they have the government on the back foot, and that is the reason why it has been a very aggressive opposition right from day one, which has ensured that the parliament doesn't function. Started on Thursday. The session started on Thursday, and today is Thursday, so it's approximately 7 to 8 days sessions have passed, have been wasted, but not much meaningful business has been conducted in the House. Ashok?
Well, I personally believe that in this sort of a situation, the government is definitely feeling a little cornered, and in fact it has given in after 2 days of resistance for a discussion on the issue of Manipur. Manipur is a situation which has been on the boil for the last more than 2 months. The law and order situation in the state is actually in shambles. Now, the opposition has grabbed this opportunity to raise the issue, to reach out to people, not just in the Northeast, but in the rest of the country, convey the fact that they are more concerned about the situation in one part of the country than the Prime Minister of the country. The Prime Minister of the country has been visiting the United States of America. The Prime Minister of the country is on a tour of states which are going to go to polls by the end of the year. But the Prime Minister fights shy from going to Manipur and assuaging the wounds of the people who have suffered because of this conflict situation in Manipur. The other thing is that BJP might believe that the Congress is indulging in politics over the issue of Manipur. Let me tell you that Parliament is the right place for politics. Parliament is the place for politics. And if BJP expects any opposition party not to indulge in politics, they are being juvenile.
Okay. Point taken. So which means Parliament is the right place for politics, but there are two things which are like central to this political tension. One is Biren Singh, another is statement of the Prime Minister, and in between is somewhere that the whole idea of separate administration. You know, the Manipur tribal areas are under the 5th schedule. There is a demand that there should be a 6th schedule. Now the 6th schedule allows for certain judicial powers. 5th schedule arrangement is not in force because of the COVID, then the elections couldn't take place. So my question to you is, do you think that there is any possibility for any concession when it comes to separate administration?
I don't think so. The reason I don't think so is amply illustrated in the numbers. Numbers is that if you look at the number of MLAs which a Meitei community gets and the number of Kuki MLAs, the story will be crystal clear. And this is the reason why, you know, despite the fact that there are many who believe that you know, Biren Singh might not be the best choice for the Chief Minister, they are not able to do away with him, because now he has emerged as a Meitei hero. You know, he's openly taking sides of Meitei. And going by the numbers of MLAs which the Meitei MLAs which are there, there is no reason Biren Singh or anybody is going to say something or act something which is against the Meitei's interest, and that is in full display. Because if you do that, you will risk alienating the biggest population of the population block of the Manipur. And if you do that, you lose 40 seats, means that you have pack up time as far as Manipur is concerned. That is the reason why, despite a lot of apprehensions, despite a lot of misgivings, despite a lot of question marks on the role of N. Biren Singh and his you know, not being prudent enough to bring the stability in the state of Manipur, the government has not been able to do much about his removal.
Apart from separate administration, you know, as Brijesh was saying, Ashok, you know, you also have the issue of 355. The buck should stop with the center also. And today we discussed that the Mera Paibis were blocking a lot of movement of the Indian army. You know, we have a political slugfest, but on the ground, even the army is not able to do the job. You know, that buck stops with the center. And in the burning of the trucks which took place at the Kangpoki, it was done by women, you know. They blocked it, the men came out and someone set the trucks on fire. So it's a piquant situation that way.
It's rather a classical situation when the state government should be put in a state of suspended animation. The central government should impose a state of emergency in the state, take over the administrative powers of the state and bring in central forces and armed forces and take the control of the state in their hands and be very impartial in bringing. First thing they need to do is to bring the law and order situation in the state in their control. The first task which is cut out for the state government or for the central government if an emergency is imposed is to get the law and order administration in place. Once the fighting stops, only then you can engage in some sort of a conversation with the leaders of the Meitei community or the Kuki community.